Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel. TammyTalks here. Let's talk what's the Married at First Sight? Love is Blind Season 3, Episode 4. If you're new to my channel, I do breakdowns on various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoy that type of content, please consider subscribing, sharing, and thumbsing up the video. Excuse me. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. So, Episode 4 starts off with everybody slept together the night before, aside from SK and Raven, okay? So Matt and Colleen slept together. Bartise and Nancy slept together. Bartise said she snored all night. She's like, because I slept good. He's like, oh yeah? We don't need it. We don't need it. Gross. So Alexa tells Brennan that he snored the entire night as well. Look, y'all. People snore. People snore. Before I had my tonsils out, I snored. People snore. It's going to happen. I don't know why on these shows, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, they make such an issue out of this. People be snoring, okay? So, Raven and SK. She has him working out and doing Pilates. He is not really doing it right. And she's like, well, you know, fiance Raven and Pilates Raven are different. I want him to do it right. If he's not good at Pilates, he's not trained in Pilates, he's not going to do it perfectly. But, okay, Raven. So, he's watching her do her makeup. And he was like, okay, I see you getting the makeup on. And she says, so it looks like Beyonce, right? So then SK said that this is starting to feel like real life and no longer like an experiment. We're getting into it. I feel like we are together now. And she looks very awkwardly at him as he washes his face. And they just like randomly stare at each other. He's like, all right, so I'm going to get in the shower. So Cole and Xanet, they are walking and they're arguing over the word great versus good. Xanet said that they had a great night. Cole said that it was good. Oh, so good. And she feels that that's different. And it's like, Xanet, don't tell me you one of them girls that just complains. It's semantics. Semantics, okay? It's going to take, you have to take into account his tone when he said it, his demeanor. Don't be that girl. Don't be that girl. They play a bunch of different games outside. They're playing cornhole. They're playing chess. And she's losing at everything. And she's like, so is this going to make you less attracted to me? And he was like, no. But then she's like, you're a terrible teacher because they're playing chess and I don't know if he was necessarily teaching her as much as being like, yep, you can do that. Go ahead, do that. And he's getting distracted by the ducks and all this other type of stuff. I feel like Xanet doesn't... I hate to say this is why people are single, but like if this is how Xanet is in a lot of her relationships, it makes a lot of sense why she's on this show, because like she is nitpicking at him, everything that he says and he does, and I like Xanet, I do, but you are nitpicking at this point. So he asks her, you know, what does she see their life being like? She said that she feels like he's going to find them a really nice house, flip it, she is going to make it a home. But then she goes on to say, but I do want you to stop leaving towels everywhere. You leave towels on the sink. You have towels on the table. Let's stop. He said, okay. I didn't know that would bother you. And I'm like, why wouldn't you putting your wet towel on the table bother her? But he wants her to stop being passive aggressive. So he was like, if you have a problem, just say it. Just say whatever the issue is. She wants to let him know that if he needs some space, if she's doing too much, trying to get my shoe off, if she's doing too much and he does feel like he needs some space, to just be outright, forward, blunt, let her know. She said that she's just not one of those people that goes around saying a bunch of sweet nothings. Like, that's just not her. She doesn't go around telling everybody about all the sweet things that, you know, her partner has done for her. That's not her vibe. That's not how she gets down. He said that they just need some time to rekindle what they had inside the pods. It's always different when you're in the pods and you're talking to a voice and y'all are vibing and things are going great, and in your mind you're putting together what you think this person looks like. Then you get out of the pods and now you're in the real world, and this person might look completely different. And that is something that I think they are both struggling with right now, because they picture something different in each other, and it's not working. It's not that it's not working. It's not clicking. It's not clicking for them yet. So his fear is her falling out of love with him over the next 4 weeks and them not making it to the altar. We have Matt and Colleen. So she tells Matt that she would have never met him outside of this process because he's not on dating apps. And she feels that he wouldn't have approached her in the bar. He was like, I wouldn't have like come over and bought you a drink because like that's foul. He said, but I definitely would have come over and like said something like super crazy. And I was like, oh, okay. So he said that in 30 days that they will be married. And she said nothing will change. It's just going to keep getting better and better and better. I said, oh girl, you don't watch the show. Things are going to change. So Nancy and Bartise. Bartise said they both won because they picked each other. I said, well, you really only picked her because Raven like made you mad the day before. But okay, Nancy was not your first choice. But hey, we'll roll with it. He then asked her, why won't you tell your friends about my age? She feels that if it comes up, it comes up. But if not. She doesn't deem it necessary to say it. She said because if her friends know his age, they are going to not approve right away. And it's like, girl, if that's your friend's reasoning for not approving of somebody that you're in a relationship with, then that's stupid. You need better friends. So she's very much still hung up on his age. She said that her friends will judge, but her parents won't. Her dad was like 16 years older than her mom. Her mom is 10 years older than her current husband. So it's not a big deal. But she wants to tattoo Love is Blind on her arm. He wants to get tattoos of like his wife, mother, sister, daughters. He has this whole whatever he wants to do. He's like, then we can get matching tattoos. I said, oh, okay. The kiss of death, huh? That's what y'all want, matching tattoos. SK and Raven. So they go to a sound bath, which I really want to do. I feel like we see sound baths on more and more shows. It's so intriguing to me. I want to go to one. So SK falls asleep, like I feel like most of the men typically do. And when it's over, he asked her, how was it? And she would say, I don't know. I couldn't hear over your snoring. And it's like... Raven is blowing me, y'all. Raven is blowing me. I can't. So she points out that he's a napper. She's like, so you're a big napper. This is like the second nap today. He was like, oh, you counting? She's like, yeah, I'm definitely counting. He was like, oh, okay. He was probably like, well, damn, we are on vacation. So she still has a very, very awkward vibe. And she thinks that that's normal that they're still awkward. She feels that he needs a little more razzle dazzle and they can't get there because he's napping. No, it's because you're standoffish. And you've already established that you're standoffish. So it's weird that now he's the issue. So they decide that one of them needs to be more of the energetic lead when it comes to this relationship. She said that right now they're muffins and they need to turn into cupcakes. And he was like, okay. Her analogy meant perfect sense, but he was like, but cupcakes are, she's like, no, Cupcakes are the razzle dazzle. I was like, all right. So he asked her where her attraction level is. She said that it's growing and it's above average at this point. She said, but it's the bonding that really is going to get her, because she points out, remember I told you, I'm not a person that is really big on like the physical attraction type of things in relationships. I've never been a person that's like, oh, I'm so attracted to him. That's just not how she gets down. So he thinks that they've made some progress, but there's still like a block between them. The block is melting, and once the block completely melts, that's where the razzle dazzle is gonna come in. I said, oh, okay. So she doesn't look very convincing about that. So we get to Brennan and Alexa. They're having a conversation about families. She mentions how close her family is. She likes to say that they're this big, close Israeli family. She said, but they talk to each other very blunt. They're very like matter of fact. She said that they'll tell each other, oh, you're being a pussy right now. She's like, even the kids. He said, the kids? I said that too. I said, wow, that's how y'all talking to kids? All right. So he said that that's different from his family because he doesn't even cuss around his family, but they're going to work it out. I think that they'll be just fine. So we get to the big hoopla, which is always going to be when all the couples are finally meeting. So everybody is now meeting the people they turned down the proposals to, the people they dumped, and it's always where things go very, very, very left. Okay? So Bartise is nervous when he sees, because he doesn't want to see all the girls that he dated in the pods. Colleen sees Cole and she's like, damn, he's good looking. Okay. Cole sees Colleen in the sight. She's just as attractive as he imagined, but she's shallow. Don't forget that, Cole. She's shallow. Bartise and Raven kind of speak. She kind of doesn't want to speak to him. And it's very awkward. He was like, but she's definitely a baddie. And he sees why she said that she was kind of used to getting all this attention. Cole is talking to SK and Bartise. He said there's a disconnect between him and Xanab. He has to find a way to reconnect with the person in the pods and connect that to the person that she is in front of him. He's still very much in love with her, but he has to adapt to her being who she is and not who she envisioned. And Bartise said that was your problem. Bartise said when he was in the pods, he did not imagine anybody. So that when he got out, it wouldn't be this with him. Cole is like, she's just not what I, imagined in a person. So it's kind of throwing him for a loop, because she's also very passive aggressive. So he feels like when they were in the pods and she would have the same personality, when she would say different things, he would envision her smiling. But in person, it's very straight faced. And it's kind of throwing him off because he feels like she's beating him down. So he's like, yeah, she would be like, can you not leave the towel on the table? And they're like, whoa, she's tripping about that. Why is that that's a very valid point. If you have a towel, you just got out the shower, don't put it on the table. Don't leave your towel sitting on the sink. These are very, very minute things, and they're not like big things that she's asking or demanding, but okay. Xanab is talking to Colleen, and they're talking about how they both had sex, and 5 times here, 3 times last night, and it's like, okay, y'all, act like y'all done got some before. So Xanab said that she hasn't connected with the person she's looking at yet, and him giving her the silent treatment is really, really fucking with her. So Bartise said that he's more in love now than he was with the person in the pod. Cole seemed skeptical about that. Bartise said, no. If he had to pick today, he would be saying yes and ready to get married to her. So Cole is saying that he's still very much in love with Xanab, but there are moments in the day where things just do not feel perfect anymore. And I said, Day 2. It's day 2. So SK tells Bartise and Cole that Raven is different out of the pods. He said that they didn't connect overnight. They haven't connected yet. They sat on opposite ends of the couch, and it's kind of throwing him a little bit. But Bartise said that if that was him and Raven in his confessional, if that was him and Raven, they would be physically close. Like they would be on a different wavelength now. I said, Bartise, Raven is not you didn't pick Raven, remember? She was doing jumping jacks while you were talking about this deep conversation about your family. Don't backtrack because she's pretty. So Raven's talking to Alexa and Colleen, and she said that they did not have sex yet. They're still working through things. Attraction is still growing. Matt said his biggest fear is that she could be fucking playing me, dude. She could be fucking playing me. She could be fucking, and it's like, Matt, somebody got to tell Matt to relax with the F-bombs, y'all. Woo, child. So he says that Colleen knows everything about him. She don't. You've known this woman for 10 days. She does not. Matt seems very intense. Very, very intense. Raven said that the hype about Bartise having big muscles was very real. And then Bartise said that he's almost regretting closing that door on Raven too soon. He wishes that he would have given her the extra day or day and a half that they had together so that they could have maybe worked through whatever issues they had. I said, yikes. So this is where things get crazy. So Bartise does mention how he can't wait to talk to Raven and pick her brain. And I'm thinking, why? Why do you want to pick her brain? But hey, so we get back to the room. Bartise and Nancy are talking about age again. Take a drink every time Nancy mentions that she's older than Bartise or that she's not worried about his age. If you are constantly talking about something like that, you definitely are worried about his age. And you just shouldn't be. It's annoying. So Bartise said that SK and Raven... Oh, so Nancy was like, who do you think is going to make it, who not? Bartise is like, okay, so I talked to SK, him and Raven, all right? So, get up, because they're, cuddling. He's like, okay, so get up, go way over there. She was like, shit, now? Nancy is drunk, okay? Nancy was smashing that food. Nancy ready to fucking go to sleep. So, he's like, look, how far we're sitting. That's how far they were. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, right? And it's like, why do you care? And so, now the wheels are turning, right? So... Nancy said that it's crazy because SK made it to her top 4. But after seeing him, she knows she made the right decision, which basically means she's not attracted to him. She's more attracted to Bartise. So she feels like she made the right decision with personality and looks for her. Bartise was like, total opposite for me. I said, No, Bartise. So Bartise said that Raven is crazy attractive. He's like, yeah, she's a total baddie. I get it. He then goes on to say they connected in the pods because they were very similar. And I said, what is going on here? What are you doing? He said that he cried, when he had to make the decision between the two of them. And Nancy is looking like, uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't know that. Uh-huh. So Nancy is coming out of this drunken stupor. She coming on out of it and she's starting to think, I know this. Okay. So he then goes on to say that he has to trust his gut. He had to trust his gut. So that's just kind of that's where we are now, I kind of went with my gut on you. That's why we're here now. I said, Bartise, what an ass. I feel like this was way worse than the Jared Mallory situation from last season. Let me know what you guys thought about episode 4. How much do we hate Bartise? Let's talk about it down below, y'all.